Hey guys, Silence here. Welcome back to another unboxing video. As you can tell from the thumbnail, I am very excited for this one because if you guys know already, I'm a huge Ghostbusters fan, and if you guys have not watched the unboxing for the HasLab's Egon Spengler's Proton pack, and of course there is the Neutrona one, and including the poster for the first ever Ghostbusters continuation timeline movie, which is Ghostbusters Afterlife. Go check those videos out. I'll link them in the description down below. But for today, we're taking a look at the brand new 2 in the box. So this is the Ghost Trap and PKE meter box. So yes, very excitable things because we finally have more complete accessories for the whole Ghostbusters getup. If you guys are cosplayers, you definitely be looking into this one. Of course, there are people who are out there who are more hardcore fans than I am because they have the time, they have the money, and they have the tools and the talent to custom build their own Proton packs and even ghost traps and PKE meters. But for me, I only can afford to buy replicas. So let's dive into the box and take a look at what we have inside, and of course the exterior of this beautiful box. Alright, let's take a look at this box itself. It's nice that they have that fingerprint mark where, you know, if it was a real dusty box, you would just pick up the box, you know, turn it around and you leave a mark of fingerprint. It just happens to fit my hands really nicely, adult hand sizes. But anyways, yeah, so we've already seen the front of the box, you know, having an evidence tag here, and of course showing what kind of labeling they would put on it because due to the events. Then of course the title, 2 in a box, Ghost Trap and PKE meter, plasma series from the HasLab's group. And of course we have very nice pink slime from Ghostbusters 2. So interestingly enough, this box design is very nostalgic for those of us who have lived through Ghostbusters 1 and 2 movies, but it makes no sense in terms of design to have the slime oozing out of the chest, because if that's the case, the trap is not doing its job containing the ghost. But anyways, let's take a look at the top part of the box. So we do have a little post-it note here, or basically a written paper with tape, written by Janine. Please return all equipment to the storage room. This means you, Peter. Because of course we know that Peter Van Ven is not really a hardworking Ghostbuster, I guess, in terms of like doing the standard stuff around the firehouse, but yeah, but he does his work in certain areas when it counts. And of course they do not look directly into the trap, so hitting back to the first film when they were trying to capture Slimer, which is their first ghost capture. And yeah, I think it was Ray that told the team that do not look into the trap directly. Then of course Egon responds with,
I looked at the trap, Ray.
yeah. So okay, I think the sides of the box, let me flip this over. So the sides of the box, basically we still have more slime oozing out on the side with very well printed graphical designs of the metal hinge and handle, and more labeling of what's this box about. And of course at the back of the box we have this inspected by Z Moore. So this is definitely during the era of Frozen Empire, which is the 4th film in the timeline. And yeah, so we have the Ghost Corp, not a Ghost Corp, engineers, I think it's the engineering team in the Ghostbusters. I can't remember what they are actually called by, but yeah, engineering team. So we have the engineering logo with the gears and of course the no-go design. Yeah, very cool. And of course more slime at the sides, and of course at the last part here is the same thing. It should be the same thing on the other side if I'm not wrong. Yeah, it's just that the slime patterns are different, so appreciate that fine detail there. Alright, so let's break open this box, but let's take a look at the bottom. So the bottom shouldn't have anything too you know, too nostalgic for us Ghostbusters fans, but yeah. Okay, so we're gonna open this up and let's pull out basically the 2 things inside this box. So let me see, where is the opening portion of this thing? It should be the sides here. Okay, so yeah, so I'm gonna flip this over here, and of course we have the scotch tape here. So once you break the seal, this value of the item is gone. But of course, for me, I'm never gonna sell this away. It's basically my tools, and of course I have the talent for it. So yes, I want to be a Ghostbuster. Alright, so we're gonna pop this open, gonna take care of the box as much as I can. And of course, for those of you who have seen a lot of the unboxings already on YouTube, I guess by the time you watch this video, most of the American people would have already gotten the 2 in the box. Of course, the earlier videos on YouTube are usually the bigger Ghostbuster channels, Ghostbusters News, and yes, have some and a few others, and of course the very popular Alan Savage, who does Mythbusters in the past. He's also a huge Ghostbuster fan, so shout out to them for the initial Ghostbusters unboxing videos. Very, very awesome to see them opening them up. Okay, so I'm gonna flip the box and I'm gonna go back to the main camera before showing you guys what's inside. Okay, so I decided to stay on the secondary camera because I think that it's a lot easier to show you guys this way. And yeah, so these are the 2 boxes that are inside the gigantic box. And of course, the top part basically is printed the same way. It's just that the height of the boxes are a bit different. So yes, smaller one and the larger one. So let's take a look at the larger box and see what it contains first. So let's pull this up. I'm just trying to do this really carefully because I actually want to keep all the boxes in pristine condition as well. Because after all, the box is a bit of a collector item as well. And okay, so we have the manuals, we have the blueprints of the ghost trap, the PK meters, and we have the stickers, and of course we have an ID card. So I'm going to open up all these later near the last part of the video so that we can take a look at the smaller items in details. But we are here for the main thing, and it's nice to see that they have really packaged it really well so that the items will not be damaged in transit and that kind of stuff. So wow, I can actually smell all the new product smell just from opening the box. This looks amazing. We have the ghost trap here, we have the stand for the ghost trap. It's really nice. And of course we have the cable. So apparently I think the cable is not exactly screen accurate with this portion, but this thing, as I've seen on other people's unboxing, is sturdy enough to actually hold the ghost trap like what Peter did when he finally captured Slimer. And yeah, so I'm really glad they actually considered cosplayers if they really want to hold a ghost trap, like they've captured a ghost and running around the convention center like that. But yeah, cables will be cables. Alright, so okay, so the plastic did come off a bit, but I guess it's fine because the ghost trap, this thing is heavy, my goodness. This thing is already naturally weathered to make it look like it's been used. So that's fantastic. Oh my goodness, this thing is heavy. I'm surprised the handle can take the weight of this thing. Wow, HasLab's team, you guys did a good job. Really good, did a good job. So exactly like how the Egon Spengler Proton pack is, it's really good in quality. They gave us parts that you can change as well. So if I recall, the red lining on the sides here, right? If you guys can see, the red lining, the red tubes on the sides here are from Ghostbusters 1 or the 1984 film. Then the silver one is from GB2. Then of course they gave us some plastic painted nubs that you can attach at the end of the ghost trap if, let's say for example, you're not going to cable it with the pedal, so you can actually cosplay with holes attached to this thing, that kind of stuff. So that's very nice. And of course there is also the feature that the silver tubing actually gives you different sounds with the ghost trap. So we'll play around with that later on once I've plugged the batteries into this thing. But yeah, let's remove the ghost trap out. My goodness, I'm still shocked how heavy the ghost trap is. Alright, so let's take a look. We also have the patches. Alright, so we're gonna take a look at these later on at the end of the video. I'm really excited for it. So that's all inside this particular box. We're gonna move on to the next box. Okay, we're gonna open up the second box right now. Let's take a look at what's inside. Of course, we're expecting to see the PKE meter in this one. So this is the smaller box that I mentioned in height, comparing to the other one. So yes, we have the PKE meter here, and oh, this thing's got weight too. My goodness. Alright, so I'm just gonna leave it inside the plastic for now because we're just unboxing everything. So apparently there is the stand for the PKE meter as well, so that's nice. What is this? Oh, it's heavy. Oh, it's the... Oh, okay. So this is the metal strap that you can put onto your belt, but this thing is heavy, my goodness. I can't expect... Wow, if I'm not wrong, this thing is... It's hard. It's got a metal feel. I think the front is metal. I mean the back is metal, and then this part has like synthetic leather. It looks like fake leather. Yeah. So this V clasp is basically where you hook the ghost trap onto it. But this thing is heavy. My goodness! Plus the weight of the ghost trap. I'm surprised that. Okay, if you were gonna wear a casual Ghostbusters suit like I am, I don't have a flight suit because it's really expensive to buy one in Singapore. Yeah, and I don't know if they will have any flight suits in my sizes, but okay. But still, yeah, it would be a dream to eventually own a flight suit, but casual cosplay with pants, jeans, and that kind of stuff. Even with a belt, my goodness, this is gonna pull down your pants midway just walking around with it. If anyone has faced issues due to the weight, especially with the holder and the ghost trap on your costume, let me know in the comment section down below. Then of course you have the standing portion of the stand where you basically display your PKE meter, and of course there's the grill for the ghost trap. That you can place inside the ghost trap once you have opened the doors. So that's very nice. And of course, the all-important pedal. Yes, the pedal for the ghost trap. So that's very nice. We're gonna open up all this from their plastics in just a moment. But for now, let me pull out the rest of the stuff. So we have the buckle for the belt clip, I guess, and the holster for the PKE meter. So that's very nice. Okay, so with that's pretty much it in the box. We're gonna move to the main camera now. We're gonna talk about all the pieces once I've unwrapped them from their plastics. So I've laid out all the products that's inside the two in the box set. We've also got the buckles, or basically the stuff that you can wear on your belt to help you hold the ghost trap and the PKE meter in place on your costume. I've not attached the cable onto the ghost trap yet with the pedal because let's do one item at a time, because I don't have enough AA batteries around the house. So yes, these two items require a total of 7 AA batteries. So if you guys are getting your own two in a box in the future, make sure you are prepped for AA batteries. I've only got a certain quantity of rechargeables around the house, so I have to do one item at a time. At least this way, I don't have to go down and purchase a set of batteries before concluding the video. Yeah, so let's talk about the stuff that came in that pack of booklets, stickers, and cards. As you can see, I've laid them all out. So this is the sticker that came with the two in the box, because we did meet certain criteria with the Kickstarter campaign. So yeah, I don't have a lot of nostalgia with a lot of the American references, especially Camp Wakanda. Ray's Occult books, definitely I know. Stay Puft Marshmallows, definitely I know. This is from Ghostbusters 2, World of the Psychic with Dr. Peter Venkman. So yeah, this was his show during Ghostbusters 2, but I can't recall about this one. Stay Puft Marshmallows, sponsored by Stay Puft Marshmallows. But yeah, so I need to go and check out what's this reference again. Yeah, I don't really remember Camp Wakanda being mentioned, maybe, but I gotta rewatch some of the shows. It's been a while since I've watched Ghostbusters and Ghostbusters 2. I mean, we have Afterlife and Frozen Empire on Netflix here, so I've been watching mostly those. But yeah, it's time to rewatch some of the older original films. And of course, the cards that Peter Venkman used in Ghostbusters 1 to piss off the students, the male students technically. And of course, we have the patches. So the original 1984, then the engineering patch, and then of course the mini Stay Puft logo design that was at the end of Afterlife, and HasLab's own No Ghost logo for the department, I guess, that designed all this stuff, including the Neutrona one, the Egon Spengler's Proton pack, and of course we get our very own Ghostbusters ID engineering badge. So at the back of it, we have basically just showing us that it's Zedmore Industries Limited for New York City, USA. So yeah, very cool. So it's a decent plastic quality. Definitely do not want to snap this in half. I'm going to leave it inside its plastic pieces. I don't think any Ghostbusters fan might consider wearing this for any conventions unless you are literally donning the black suit with the engineering patch, which is the uniform for the engineering department. Then of course there is this very cool blueprint that I'm thinking of framing up because this thing is cool. Although it has that fold lines there, but I guess that's how it makes it authentic, like a real blueprint. Yep, so let me see if I can stretch this out and show you guys the full thing. So yeah, we have the full design schematics of the ghost trap with the pedal, and of course the PKE meter, and of course the the stunner design as well. Yeah, taser, sorry, not stunners, taser design for the ghost trap. Yeah, so very cool. Thinking of framing this up and putting alongside with my Proton pack in the future if I hang it against the wall. So something to consider if you're a Ghostbusters fan. So yeah, let's take a look at the PKE meter first. So this is the first item that I have placed my batteries in. And yes, so if you take a look at the back, so this is where the batteries will go. Luckily enough, your hands will most likely be around it. So only when you're cosplaying, maybe people might see this, but depends on how you're holstering. If you're using the holster for the PKE meter, it will not actually look that bad, considering the battery compartment is like very obvious. So very nice material with the PKE holster, a lot lighter compared to the Ghost Trap one, which has metal and of course the fake leather. This is mostly all the fake leather, and you just holster the PKE meter and strap it in. So very nice. It's nicely fitted, I think. Yeah, it does seem to protrude out a bit, so that's a bit concerning in the long run, because eventually the material will get damaged from the inside to out. Yeah, so there we go, very nicely holstered PKE. Yeah, the back portion has a bit of a bump as well, so we've got to take note of that. Eventually, if you use this too much, this thing is gonna get damaged and it's gonna be hard fine to replace unless someone in the Ghostbusters community has taken its design and placed it on some forums or anything like that, so that people can just remake their own in case this thing originally gets destroyed because of the protruding parts of the PKE meter. So yeah, so we already have the battery inside this thing. So let's take a look at the bottom, because this is where the on-off is. So let me explain what this thing is. So basically the off is the circle, on is the single one Roman numeral, and of course 2. Basically there's 2 modes of play. So if you want to do EMF, where you can actually use the PKE meter to basically detect ghosts kind of by using electrical equipment around your house, then yeah, you will want to use option 1. So let me turn it on option 1. Then by activating it, no matter which button you press, you will basically activate the PKE meter. So here we go. So they do have a bit of an animated sequence. So if you leave it on for a while, it does kind of play around on its own. However, you can actually take manual control of the PKE meter. So if you press this side, which is the right side, it will actually raise the meter. There we go. And of course, once it's raised, it will actually read a lot faster because there's a higher level spectral entity nearby. Alright, so, and the thing is, this thing here, this knob here, also determines on what mode you are on that mode. So the very leftmost option with the orange light and red basically turns on the audio. The center position mutes the device, and the right side is basically a high EMF reading. So there is a low EMF reading, which is this one, and then the high EMF reading, so this is high. So basically imagine a whole meter from a semicircle perspective. So this is the higher spectrum because this is going down on the other half of the semicircle. So lower, then higher will be on the other side. Hope this makes it easier to understand. So we're gonna try testing it with my electronical devices around the house. So we have a power plug around here, and this one currently we're not detecting any ghosts. So if I go low, it should raise up. There we go. So when it's near a high power outage area, it will actually go into a high detection mode. So that's very cool, and you can see like the lights are flashing a lot faster. It's very cool with the reflection of the piano. So yeah, very cool. So you can actually have this in mute. So if you're cosplaying, this is very cool because it will have all the lights function plays without the noise, and it's going to save you a lot of battery power as well. So that is very considerate of the team to design it in this way. Very cool. Then of course, just like the show, we have the taser functionality. So let's flick this open and we push this button down. Or is it up? Up. There we go, and we have the taser mode. So any button that you press basically is to taser the ghost. So they do kind of use the glossy painted material of the meters to kind of like reflect the purple. So it does give off a very decent enough light, especially if you point it at somebody. It's gonna like look like you're really tasering them. So if you do press and hold, it does have an overload feature. Yeah, and so it auto shuts down. So how you reset the PKE meter in this position is very crucial. So the thing is, you want the black portions to go in 90 degrees. There we go. Make sure both are in, and then it will reset. So do not push down the meter, or rather the levers directly down vertically. That is a no-no. It's gonna damage your PKE meter. So yeah, just take note of that. So of course, then there's of course mode 2. Yeah, so mode 2 basically is, I think, autoplay, maybe? Will the PKE meter do its own thing? Let's see. I'm not too sure. But there are buttons that you can press to basically activate animation sequences. So I think, yeah, so this button here gives it its own animation sequences. It will actually kind of like play around by itself, if I'm not wrong. There we go. Yeah, it's playing by itself. Very cute. Alright, so yeah, so I think it's a very cool device. So having it on mute and standing on its stand in this manner makes a very cool background display. So if you're a Ghostbusters fan and you're streaming Ghostbusters games on Twitch and kind of stuff, the PKE meter will look like a very nice backdrop. So some ideas just there. Very cool. Alright, so let's go take a look at the ghost trap. So I'm gonna go spend some time to switch the batteries over, and I'll see you guys in just a moment on this video. Okay, we are back with the ghost trap portion of the unboxing. So as you can tell, I have the pedal hooked up with the cable already. I try to keep it as new as possible. I don't want to remove that tie just yet, because I'm gonna eventually keep all this stuff except the ghost trap and the PK meter to display in my room. So yeah, I won't be wearing this out until like some opportunity arises. But let's talk about the ghost trap and the pedal. So as you can tell from the pedal, this thing is a very, very detailed replica of the original ghost pedal from Ghostbusters 1, 2, and even for like Afterlife and Frozen Empire. So the thing about this, I think it's some kind of like a resistor. I have no idea what the terminology is for the parts, but this thing is apparently very difficult to replicate, and good job to HasLab's team that they managed to do so. They even give you an option to change the position because of whichever Ghostbusters movie you want to replicate this positioning in. So very good job on that. And the pedal doesn't actually require any batteries, which is a fantastic thing. So it runs on the battery within the ghost trap itself. And yes, so let's talk about the display stand of the ghost trap, which is actually a lot more interesting compared to the PK meter stand. So the PK meter stand is just an entirely single piece of plastic, very light material. It is bendable if you're in a very hot climate country, just like I am in. So it's weather is going to be an issue for all your collectibles, because this kind of plastic eventually will warp due to the heat here in a very summer-like country style. All right, so the ghost trap. So the ghost trap actually slides out, and it has its own clasp, same thing as the holster, and yeah, so it securely locks the ghost trap in place. And the funny thing, this thing design is kind of reminiscent to like a train track. So this part, it actually has real springs. So very cool. It kind of like cushions the ghost trap when you push it in, so that it doesn't really damage the ghost trap. So kudos in terms of design as well. So here's the funny thing. The battery compartments on this thing is actually where the ghost trap portion comes out. And if you're looking to like have your ghost contained in the containment unit, that's basically where the batteries are. So I'm gonna show you guys how to actually remove the compartment, because this thing is very cool. It basically replicates the entire ghost trap as is seen in the show. So you just have to press this button at the handlebar here, push it down, and just pull it out. How cool is that? So the battery compartment is here at the bottom, so you will need to place your 4 AA batteries here. And of course, this thing, all the knobs here are usable. So we'll talk about these 2 knobs, because the rest of them, they do something, but I couldn't figure out what do they actually do. There is some hidden Morse code message as well. Then of course, there is a play functionality with the ghost trap and the PKE meter, but unfortunately I don't have the batteries right now to showcase that to you. So I probably will have to stitch the video together after I've gotten batteries for the PKE meter as well, probably on a different day. So by the time you're watching this video, it's no longer 2 weeks after I've attained the 2 in a box. It's probably gonna be like 3 weeks later, I guess, considering that I had to stitch this video together myself as well. I do not have an editor because I'm a lonely YouTuber doing the entire production on my own. So yeah, let's slide this back in. Very cool ghost trap design. There we go. Yep, and we get the sounds once you have put the battery in, that that shows that the ghost trap is ready for play. So I'm gonna move the stand away because we're gonna have the ghost trap on this side to play around. I'm gonna shift away the PKE meter a bit so it gives us a bit more space. So there we go. So okay, first things first, we're gonna talk about the power switch on the ghost trap. So the power switch is this thing. Now there is two modes that you can play with the ghost trap. Basically, it's just one mode with the motor rumbling and one without the motor rumbling. So same thing as like the Egon Spengler Proton hack, you can turn off the rumbling motor inside the what do you call it again? The I cannot remember the term. If I remember, I will put it at the bottom of the video. The cyclotron, yes, the cyclotron. So basically, if it's similar like the Proton pack cyclotron, where when it powers on, it's supposed to rotate inside the Proton pack. So the motor is supposed to simulate that situation of that rumbling. So it's same thing as the ghost trap. There is a rumbling motor inside this thing, so it's kind of like simulating like the power and suction of the ghost trap, including like when the ghost is inside the trap, it shakes the ghost trap, that kind of stuff. So very cool. So if you want the rumbling motor, you want to switch the switch towards the right side, so downwards. If you don't want the motor, so let me see if I can show you the rumbling of the motor. So I'm surprised there's no rumbling. Did I get it wrong? Huh. Okay, let me switch it the other way and let's see whether there's a rumbling. No. So, but the lights are off though. There we go. I think yeah, so apparently this mode lets the light turn on. I guess the rumbling functionality only works with the pedal attached to it. I don't know why. But let's try again later once we have attached the pedal. So yes, so right now we have the red tubes on the ghost trap. So these are going to give us the sounds of the Ghostbuster 1 ghost. So playing around with this knob, you get to choose a randomized amount of ghost sounds effects. There you go. So the ghost trap does do that by itself. Without touching the ghost trap, it does play a ghost sound randomly once in a while. So apparently there is a lot of ghost audio recordings inside this thing. So turning this knob doesn't play you all of them. Eventually you have to figure out the ghost sounds. Can you guess any of them? Okay, so that was definitely the mini puffs. All right. Very clear audio recording of the pterodox. That sounds a bit like Slimer. Okay. Okay. All right. So if you can guess any of the ghost sounds, let me know in the comment section down below. I am a bit lost on which is which. It's been a while since like I mentioned, I've watched the original 2 Ghostbusters films, but it's time for a rewatch and kick up my nostalgia level back again. So yeah, so let's talk about the levers on the front. So this one controls the LED portion here of the ghost trap. So if I were to rotate the thing, yeah, it's gonna change the animation sequence on the LED panel. So I think there are a total of 7 different designs. Interestingly enough, this knob can only switch downwards and upwards. So you can't do a full 360 turn with this knob. But yeah, that's basically how you rotate through the animation sequences. All right, the other lever that is playable is actually this one here. Okay, so this knob is your volume control. So if you take a look at the LED light on the ghost trap, oh, there we go. There we have the motor now. So I don't understand why the motor didn't. So this controls the volume and the power level of the motor vibration, I guess. So pretty similar in terms of the Neutrona one as well, that has the audio level or the intensity of the rumbling of the Neutrona one. So very, very similar. All right, so there is also a button under the handle. I don't know if you guys can see. It's actually right here where you can actually click on it and have the ghost trap do certain things. All right, so we also have this plastic looking grill that actually goes inside of the ghost trap, where if, let's say for example, if you want to have a hidden smoke machine inside this thing so you can have smoke emitting out the ghost trap, I eventually will hope to do it if I can find some cheap smoke machines here in Singapore. Yeah, so I'm gonna turn off the ghost trap for a moment because I want to talk about this. So anyways, smoke machines, I think a lot of people will probably consider using vape machines, but in Singapore, vaping machines are illegal in Singapore, so this is going to be a very difficult project for me here in Singapore to do. I don't know if there's going to be a cheaper variant of a smoke machine. I probably had to outsource something like that in the future. So yeah, I'm going to turn this back on with the motor rumbling. Yeah, so, and if you press the button at the bottom once, it will open the ghost trap with the lights like I showed you earlier. So you can actually lay down the grill just like that. So very cool. And then of course you press it one more time to close the trap. Double press. There you go. So if you don't have the trap pedal attached to the ghost trap, this is basically how you get the ghost trap to do the trap pedal animation sequence. So you double tap again and you close. Then you have the red light saying that there's a ghost inside the trap. There we go. Very nice. So if you do press and hold the button, it's supposed to emit a ghost audio as well. So instead of turning this knob, you can actually press that. So if you're at conventions, if this knob is not so easily accessible, you can just press the lever and then you have ghost audio coming out. But of course, without touching the ghost trap, you will have ghost audio play randomly once in a while as well. And there it is, that Morse code that I was talking about. So if anyone knows Morse code, please tell me what that means. I have no idea what that means. Yeah, so random ghost audio, so you have a lot of various audio. I'm going to turn this off for a moment and we are going to attach the pedal to this thing so that at least this way you guys can understand what it's like playing around with the pedal. So of course we have also these things that actually just cap on. If, let's say for example, you want to have your own tube, so this thing is going to give it a 1-to-1 scale accuracy of what the cable is supposed to be like attached to the ghost trap, unlike the ones that we have. So this yeah, very, very different. All right, so we're going to attach the cable. So we do have a specific position to go into, as you can tell. So just following the positioning. All right, push it in and screw it down. All right, with that, it's very secure. So you can even hold the trap with just the cable strength alone. So that's how you can cosplay capturing a ghost at an event. But for me, I would definitely not be doing that. I would like to let my cable last as long as possible. So yes, so I'm gonna switch out the red plastic pieces as well. So this is basically how they detect which Ghostbuster generations you are actually playing around with, because of the way the plastic protrudes in. So with this thing here, it activates the original 1984 Ghostbusters film sounds. And of course the silver one, without the middle portion, it's just blocking out the side. So that's how you get your Ghostbusters 2 audio. So since we've already heard quite a bit of Ghostbusters 1984, let's play around with the Ghostbusters 2 movie sequences. So I'm going to turn on the audio, but without the rumbling. So it's pushing forward. There we go. So here we go. If you press the pedal, all right, and of course Pressing it again, you will close the trap. So lights, it will follow beeping. Love that. All right. And of course, we get the audio of the river of slime. Very, very nice. So here's the thing. We're going to try equipping the ghost trap onto its... This thing is ridiculously heavy. I still cannot understand if anyone would actually use this. It is metal with fake leather. And yeah, it's gonna be a problem. So let's slide this thing in. So just gotta be careful. Alright, so gotta make sure that the metal clasp does go in properly. There we go. And basically that's it. So this is basically how you have your ghost trap attached to your uniform by belt buckle as well. So yeah, Morse code again. So I have to do the last part of my video because apparently I finally have all my batteries in every single device inside the PKE meter and of course the ghost trap. So now I'm going to turn on the PKE meter, but however this functionality only works if you go into the second play portion. So you need to switch on to number 2 and then after this, turn on the ghost trap. You can have it without the rumbling, which is the forward switch on, and of course the back is to switch on with the rumbling factor. So I'm going to turn it on with the rumbling factor here. So I'm sure most of you are already familiar with the ghost noises inside the ghost trap by now. So just a very simple example. So we're going to use the PK meter to actually have the ghost trap play ghost noises like as if you are detecting a ghost within the trap itself. So all you have to do is make sure that the meter is set to EMF mode, which is the very last knob. Yep, so you can see that the PK meter is not turned on yet and you can hear the ghost rumbling noises from the trap itself. That's normal. So once you have the EMF meter on and you turn it on and you manually pull up the reading to the highest. There we go, let's try again. To prove that that was not a fluke, let's put it down again and let's put it up to the highest. And there we go. So just like a real PK meter, you can actually detect ghosts from the ghost trap kind of and have the ghost trap react to the PK meter and play ghost noises. Now how cool is that? So yeah, alright, so I'm going to turn off the audio for the PK meter and we're going to turn off the ghost trap. And yes guys, what do you guys think of the Ghostbusters 2 in a box by HasLab, the PK meter and our PK meter is here and the ghost trap? What do you guys think about this full collection from the HasLab? Of course, if you guys have not checked out the Spengler's Proton hack and Neutrona one unboxing, please check them out in the links description down below. Of course, if you enjoyed the content, as always, leave a like on the video and of course subscribe to the channel for more contents just like this. You know, I'm a huge Ghostbusters fan, so whenever I do get my Ghostbusters stuff, I will definitely do it for the channel. Eventually I hope to own maybe a flight suit or maybe even the ecto goggles and so on and so forth, whichever stuff that is still missing from my Ghostbusters collection to do a full Ghostbusters cosplay in the future. But yeah, if you appreciate all the content, of course do the like, subscribe, and of course ring the bell notification icon for more content on my channel aside for Ghostbusters. And I'll see you guys in the next video. Until then, bye.